the Bucks Tennis social media workshop. So pretty much how to make your club's marketing stand out. So using best practice examples from Bucks, but also from tennis teams. You might even spot some of your teams in there. Oh, here we go. Okay, so there's plenty of media outlets, as you all know, and I'm sure you're all very familiar with them. Now, you don't need to use all of them, but we'd recommend using 2 of them, for example, like Twitter and Instagram, or Facebook and Twitter. However, remember, it's better to do less well than more not so well. So if you feel like you only have the capacity to do Instagram really, really well, then just stick with Instagram, or the same for Twitter. But as a whole, we'd recommend using 2 outlets for your students to get in contact with you and also give out any information. Now, you also have all your different apps that you can use to create content for your social media. For example, I don't know whether many of you have heard of Canva. You've got Photoshop, Spark Post, iMovie. These are all editing apps that you can use to help create your content. For example, Canva, which is the one I use the most actually, you can use to create social media posts specifically for Instagram, Twitter. You can use it to make brochures. There's templates for pretty much any flyers, and it can give you the overall design, and then you just input your own information into it. So if you feel like, you know, you're not really that into making like different designs and stuff, Canva's a great one to use because the design can already be done for you. There's also some more editing apps such as Photoshop, Lightroom, HypeType, Slowfast, and these are ones you can use, for example, if you have a video that you'd like to make into slow motion. Slowfast is a good one for this one, and you can make, for example, a serve going into like slow motion if you hadn't already previously done it when you took it. So these are just a few apps you can use on your social media when you're putting all your content out, just to vary your posts a little bit. So one of the messages we're going to start with is just keeping your message consistent. For example, keep the same font, choose a selection of colours, and try and keep it all similar theme. So when you're making something for you, you don't want to spend ages picking colours and deciding what design to use. If you just have a set of 4 colours like we do on here, we've got red, blue, gold and white. They're the 4 colours that Bucks uses, and then we won't deviate from that. We always have Gibson and Tahoma as our 2 fonts. Again, we won't deviate from that. But also makes your brand recognisable. So when people are going on your page, they'll be able to recognise, oh, that's the University of Edinburgh's tennis team, for example. So I have a quick example on the next page. It's UEA. So you can see they've got the same colours throughout, the same font. It's easy recognisable. They've got the same logo. And this is their Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So straight away, you know which tennis team it is, where to find them, and it gives the student who's coming to look on your page a little bit about yourself, and it makes it look professional and clean. So I would say, firstly, those are things you really want to think about, and simple things you can do is just keeping everything the same colours, the same logos all the way throughout. So second of all, you want to make sure that your content is relevant. You want to make sure that your members will want to engage with you and reshare. So for example, you can create contests for them and help them get involved in the social media more. Like they can vote for anything really. They can vote for different things. So an examples of this, for example, is if you have a content plan. So this will help you decide what you want to post and also save time. So you can divide your content. This is like an example. You could divide your content into 4 strands. So you've got development, competition, social and notable days. So these can keep you all focused on the message that you really want to deliver. Now you can vary it from university to university, depending how big your club is and what you want to focus on. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about each section and what you could include. So first, you've got social. So here you could talk about all your social events on a Wednesday, for example. I know a lot of the teams like to go on a Wednesday, or if you have any awards or social nights out. I know at the moment Durham is doing like bi-weekly posts where they're like meeting the committee. This can be a good way to let like newcomers know who's who, and put a name to the face before they've met them, just to help them feel a little bit more at ease. Then you have notable days. This is a great one for A-level results, Freshers' Fair, World Mental Health Day, charity days. There's always a day you can find, and it always shows that you're thinking beyond tennis. So there's another side to the club. A-levels is a great one, as soon as the student knows what university they're going to come to, they'll be looking on social media of how to join the club and what tennis involves, and asking loads of questions. So if you show that you kind of thought about that, they'll be quite interested to come and find you. If you're struggling for any form of like posts or anything, if you Google the social media calendar, there's a day for everything. So there's even like an International Apple Day. So you can, if you're want to post something, let's say next Tuesday, and you didn't know what to do, but you wanted to keep your engagement up, you could Google the social media calendar and see what that International Day is and try and make it relevant to you. So there's just some little tips and ideas for that one. And then we've got development. So you've got to make sure that your club isn't just like a one-trick pony. It's got loads of different aspects to it. So with your development strand, you could talk about your training schedules, development squad, Fast Four, any coach education, the competition organisers group that we've just touched on earlier, and you've got the fitness side. So you want to show that there is something for everyone, not just for performance, not just for social. Anybody can kind of be involved. It can show that you're quite inclusive to everybody and very welcoming. So this one's quite important also. And then finally, we have competition side. So you may have some people who are a bit of a higher level. So you want to make sure that you have information and post regarding like the Bucks leagues. Maybe you could post about match fixtures, internal competitions, any strength and conditioning, anything about Bucks in general. All that sort of thing. So that's aimed at the competition strand. So with these 4 strands together, you could create like a weekly schedule. So for example, now you wouldn't have to do every single day. This is just kind of an example. For example, Monday, you could do shot of the week or match of the week. Tuesday, you could do a fixture graphic because the majority of teams play on a Wednesday, or team lineups. You could play meet our number 2. Wednesdays could be match day content. Thursdays could be like results or player of the week or member of the week. Friday could be like a development day where you have like social media content, what's going on, all that sort of stuff. But like I said, this will help you if you have a bit more of a plan. This will help you have everything ready to go, so you don't have to spend so much time deciding what you to do. And then everyone also know, for example, on Wednesdays, Nottingham Uni always posts about matches. On Mondays, Portsmouth always tweets about, I don't know, the development squads. So everyone kind of has a feel for what you're doing, and it keeps everything consistent, plain, and then also saves you time in the long run. So I've put together a few examples of what these look like. So hopefully this one, yeah. So just scrolling through this one, we've got Nottingham and Glasgow here. So you can see Nottingham have really like mixed up the type of post that you're doing. So you've got some pictures, you've got some videos, you've got some interactive charity days, and you can see at the top of them, we've got like pinned like highlights. So these could be like easy accessible for students. For example, the Glasgow one I saw, they have a Bucks play one, which I thought was great because if a captain's stuck of what to do, they could just quickly go on their social media and see that, oh, I can just follow how to I don't know, change a fixture on Bucks Play. So again, this helps freshers when they're coming in to see what you guys have been up to, what type of stuff you've been involved in, what level of tennis you have, and all that type of stuff. So when you're captioning, just remember that depending what outlet you're going to has a different type of captioning. For example, Twitter is a bit more short and snappy. Instagram is a medium length. Facebook, you can do longer posts, which are a little bit more informative. But don't always forget to add emojis, make it fun, always tag the people and the location, add hashtags in. So people are always engaging, you can see who's who, you'll get more followers. Yeah. So here's a quick example of a social post. This was a welcome tournament a UEA put on. To me, looking at it, it shows this post how welcoming the team are. This was a welcome tournament. You could assess people's ability for having the little tournament. You could make it a social side just for everyone to get involved. But it shows that, again, it's not just all about the performance, and it's getting to know each other. And then another example, I've got Bath and Portsmouth. So Bath has done a great example of a development post here. So it's the Sunday League. So it's eye-catching. They've used their colours, so I instantly know that's Bath. And similar one, Freshers. I thought this was great. They could go on their social media and just find out exactly where the tennis stand was. This could also be a great one to put on a story. So, for example, on the day, if I don't know where I'm going, I'm browsing through all the stories, I can see, oh, the Freshers Fair, I'm going to go to the tennis stand. So it's a great way to also communicate with others. Next example, I have Cardiff Met. They did a tweet for the A-level results. So if anybody had any questions, if they've just found out the results, they could easily just message tennis@cardiffmet.ac.uk. So this is great, easy to get in contact with everyone. It shows that you're thinking of them and that you're excited. Leeds Beckett did a World Mental Health Day. So again, shows that you're just more than tennis. And, you know, if someone are having problems, they've got someone to talk to, you can give a link to a place they can go and visit. But again, these type of posts you can make on, for example, Canva. It's easy to use, it's free. All you need is a few photos and then you can pop it on. Here's another, I've got quite a few examples. So here's another example. So we've got a Facebook one from University of Southampton for International Women's Day. So as you can see, it's a little bit longer and they've included more photos. Again, great example. And then we've got another one from University of Nottingham doing a Movember. So again, these are all stuff that everyone can get involved in, they can reshare, engage with. And then finally, this was the most recent one, which are stories. So Uni of Nottingham, they had like ask a question on Instagram. So there was, for example, how will trials be conducted? And then they'd answer, do we need to bring our own rackets? Does it matter if you're not very good? And these are all questions that you can answer in real time. And then it just makes it easier for the student. I think I've mentioned previously that some students maybe don't feel comfortable going to Freshers Fair or just prefer to ask a quick question on Instagram, or maybe they can't go. So I'd highly recommend doing this. Looking through the post for University of Nottingham, it seemed very successful. And then also you're not hearing the same questions over and over again. And finally, this is an example of a match result. This is from Durham. So they've included team picture because, again, it is a team event. They've congratulated the other team. It keeps people updated, lets everyone know what's going on. And yeah, so it just really emulates, again, what the club is all about. So all these posts are just different ideas, but you can really make everything by yourself, to be honest with you. But it's very important to make sure that you are active and engaging with everything. I'm doing the Twitter at the moment for the Brit Uni Tennis. So, you know, if anybody has any content they'd like to go out, I'm the person to email. Just give me the content and we can look through it. And hopefully that can go out on our channel. But except for that, that's all I really have. I can send out these slides because obviously I'm aware there's a lot of information right now. But yeah, so thank you for listening. And does anybody have any questions?